For me, that game has to be Fallout 4. Uh, I've played Fallout 4 when it came out, however many years ago it was, in November 10th, 2015. Again, another Bethesda Game Studios game. It is out on all current generation consoles, as well as PC, Mac, and Linux. I don't think this will be ported into next generation consoles. I wouldn't be surprised if Skyrim is ported into next generation consoles, because that's what Skyrim is. That is the meme on the internet. Skyrim is going to be everywhere. This is one of the games where the story really hit me. Don't worry, I won't spoil it, but even 5 years after the game was released, I remember I still made a decision that haunts me in real life. Because looking back on it, it was the wrong decision or an evil decision. Some people may think the story is average, but for me, it was amazing. The choices that you had to make and the sides that you had to choose. Um, I've never experienced anything like it. That being said, I've only ever played Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. I didn't play Fallout, the original Fallout or Fallout 2. So this game is set within an open world, post-apocalyptic environment that encompasses the city of Boston and surrounding Massachusetts region known as the Commonwealth. You wake up and you essentially have to survive and figure out what is going on. Like most Fallout games, the choice is yours, or what you do and how you do it. If you haven't played a Fallout game before, definitely give this a go. If you skip this when it was released, get it on sale because it is definitely worth the play. One thing I will note on PC is that it doesn't have as many mods as some of the other versions of Fallout, so once you finish it, you are pretty much done. Um, Absolutely lovely game. Uh, I, I really would like to talk about the decision that I made, but if you haven't picked this up yet, looks great. It'll run absolutely great on new computers, even older computers. Bethesda's games are always really well optimized. Definitely pick it up. If you're somebody who doesn't like, the VATS system or the way Bethesda does combat or anything like that, I would probably say watch some streamers on Twitch, watch some videos on YouTube, and then let me know. Oh no, don't let me know. And then think about it. And then if you like what you see, just give it a go.
All right. So yeah, I'm kind of interested. You picked Fallout 4. I mean, I really enjoyed Fallout 4 as well, but it gets a lot of hate on the internet these days.
Yeah, I mean, even when I played it, I remember playing the game when people were like, "Wow, this game is terrible. This sucks. The story, the choices are very linear." I mean, I would even say the game is bilinear because there is like only really two paths you can take. Because I know you were a big fan of Fallout Vegas, if I remember correctly.
Actually, I'm not as big a fan. I liked Fallout 3 more than Vegas actually.
Oh, okay,
But I know a
okay.
lot of people. Vegas is the one on the internet that everyone raves about.
So I played that, and I can see why in terms of choices. But for me, like this game was like just has that sort of like impact of something. And when I did the thing in the game, I'm like, oh my god, what did I just do? And for the rest of the week, every day I went, everywhere I went, I'm like, oh my god, I just did this choice. I'm a bad person. I'm going to hell, even though it's all virtual.
So, what do you think about now? This obviously impacts the story. In every Fallout prior to this, you play as a silent protagonist, and that really allows you to um, basically a silent protagonist with no backstory or very minimal backstory, which really allows players to kind of fill in their own interpretation of the character. This one obviously is voiced and has a very solid backstory. How do you feel about that decision and how it impacts the game overall?
I understand some people not liking that, because this guy does have a voice, sort of in the Mass Effect series. You have the John Shepard voice, and that's what everyone knows. And I think that's sort of similar like this. Like this is a voice, and this is who you are, and you can role play being this guy with this voice. And I think that's fine. It didn't bother me at all. I think that is actually better because sometimes a good voice actor will voice a character in such a way that it sort of it gives you a greater connection with that character because you feel like the energy and the timbre and the voice gives you indicators of like this is the kind of person that I am.
Okay, yeah, I really like that in Dragon Age and in what was it, Mass Effect. But yeah, for me, for Fallout, having played the previous ones where you were always silent, that was probably the most jarring thing for me was the voice, just because there would be times where I'd want to say something, and I remember in like Fallout 3 or in Fallout New Vegas where I'm playing, and then I'm looking at the comment and I'm imagining my character saying it with kind of a snarky tone or saying it with very seriously. But here, there's no interpretation of how your character says it. It's just blatantly, so I'm thinking like, oh, I'm going to be a little bit sarcastic. And then the line comes out completely different. And I'm like, oh, no, that's not what I wanted to say. I would have chosen the other option if I had known they said it that way. So, yeah, but I mean, did you have any situations like that where you felt like, oh, maybe this should have gone a slightly different way or they should have interpreted it differently? Or
As far as the story goes in the game, there are certain things where I figure the choices you made, they should have been an extra choice, or things should have gone. I agree with you. Things should have gone a different way. I can't think of any offhand, but there just sort of certain choices where I feel like, oh man, I wanted this person to survive, or oh, making this choice shouldn't have made me the bad person. Yeah,
yeah, I definitely had that sometimes where I'm thinking like, oh, okay, this is the nice person choice, and then the character says it in some really mean way, and then it's like, oh no, no, wait, that was the bad guy option. I thought it was, yeah, yeah, they took that in a completely different direction than what I was thinking I was going in.
totally.
So